Why is it that men apply for jobs when they meet 60% of the qualifications, and while women, they wait until they hit 100%, right? Tick the box, tick the box, tick the box. Why is that? Is it confidence, or is it that we have been trained to doubt ourselves? That was a question I asked our cohort number 3, the members of our Jumpstart program. Jumpstart your next dream job. And today we talked about the value that we bring. And it's so difficult for a lot of leaders to actually even understand what value they bring and truly believe in themselves and truly know what value they bring. I've been there. I know how hard it is because it's new. We're not being trained to really love ourselves so much, right? Knowing what value you bring. But truly believe that you're good enough is about being so proud of who you are, owning. Remember what I talked about last week about being an inch wide and a mile deep? That is what we dived into earlier today. And I want to ask you another question, maybe more a question for reflection, because we went really deep. And what if I told you that the biggest thing that is holding women back, what if I told you that it's not quotas, but it's actually the women themselves, right? Earlier today, I released a newsletter to amazing leaders in my community. And I talked about the law of Jante. In Danish, janteloven. In Denmark, we have this invisible ceiling that you should not think you're smarter than anyone else. You should not think that you're more beautiful than anyone else. You should not stand out of the crowd. You just really mingle, just really blend in, right? Do not stand out. That that conditioning kept me playing small. And I wrote a newsletter to my people. My people, I love them so much. People on our email list. Because I see it again and again and again. And it's something that we really want to honor when we talk about owning our worth, owning what the value that we bring. In order for you to really know what you're really good at, you have to also observe with love how you've been conditioned. What have you been conditioned to believe to be true? How have you been conditioned to show up? We are running a mastermind. I've got a bit out of script, but sometimes I do that. But we are running a mastermind in April, my very first in-person and private mastermind in Copenhagen. And we're going to talk about mother's wound. And we also talked about it this afternoon when we kicked off our Jumpstart. Because oftentimes, not only have we been conditioned to believe from society that don't shine, right? Just blend in. But also, and I've heard it so many years. Unfortunately, that of whether we want to break free from our limitations, and does it only relate to women? Not really. Women, we've been conditioned and been told from young beautiful girls, you should just be in the room, but you should stay quiet. You shouldn't ask any questions if you don't have the answers. Men, on the other hand, they've been conditioned to say, cowboys don't cry, right? Whatever you have heard, whatever your mom have told you, whatever your dad have told you, right? If they haven't loved you unconditionally, there's probably a limitation or two that is that invisible ceiling that keep you low, right? Protect you from owning your value because the ego protected you when you were a child. It protected you. It got you so far because we do not want to stand out of the crowd. We want to belong, right? Either we lonely or are we alone? We want to. It's good to be alone, but we don't want to be. Are we alone? It's good lonely. We don't want to be lonely, but I'm alone right now. That's okay, right? But we don't want to be lonely. Where do you want to go with this? I want to go. I'm just going to show it because this is so deep for me. And I sometimes when I hold the space for me, because when I say to my clients is that actually when I go live and when I teach, I also teach myself. All right. But going back to that of owning what you're really good at. We hear about glass ceilings, we hear about that really the quotas, but if you want so badly to have a new job, and you want to understand the invisible ceiling that you have placed, the box that is too small for you, right? Someone has given you a box and you no longer fit into that box, right? There's a bigger box waiting, but you get to break through and you get to want that next job so badly that you want to understand where you're playing yourself small. What have you been conditioned to believe that have got you to where you are, but now you're stuck? Because that is the invisible chains, right? It keeps you stuck, right? You so much want to pass through, but want to pass and break through to that next level, but you've got no idea how to do that. The way to do it is to really understand what are you telling yourself subconsciously, and what are those invisible chains that you put on yourself, those labels. I'm not good enough. I'm just here. I just want another job. No, you don't want another job, right? If you're part of my community, whether it's my inner circle or it's my outer circle, most majority of the people I connect with, they are high flyers like me. You know that you have more to give, right? So drop whatever limiting belief that you're telling yourself, limiting story. Drop whatever label you put on yourself, like I'm not good enough. There's no job for me. I don't know how to open the doors. I am too old. If you give yourself a label that doesn't serve you, that make you feel unhappy, not feeling unfulfilled, ditch that label. Ditch that label. Be so proud of the value that you bring. Be so proud of your career and your track record. And remember, own that inch and the mile deep. Own it in your heart. That's what we worked on. Because when you truly understand, when you own and know the value that you bring, then it's so much easier to connect with those you want to serve. I've got so many questions over the weekend about how do I find my worth? What do you mean by inch wide and a mile deep? And I'm not sure I can join this program, the cohort number 3. I love you all, and I'm so excited for you that you reach out because you are moving your needle. You are so close to your breakthrough. Now it's about dropping whatever is not working for you, right? And really own what you're good at. It's not something that just like when I teach you, right? Like here, it requires you to just not absorb the information, but actually go and apply the information. That's where the transformation is, right? It's in the doing. It's not just by listening. So what we did today, and I want to answer some of the questions. I know it's a free flow conversation today, even though I have a script. But anyway, that of owning what you're really good at, right? You're not, nobody has taught you how to do that. Society hasn't taught you what to be good at, because school, university, we are being taught to know everything, right? It's good in the beginning of our career to experiment with different fields, but there's also comes a point where now it's time to reclaim power. Now it's trying to really find out and discover what is it that really puts my heart on fire. What is it that makes me so happy? We talked about that today as well, because I don't want you to just go and find energy out. That's why some people have struggled with really getting through and opening the right doors, because you haven't yet taken the time to really discover what you're really good at. So you pitch and you tried knocking on the doors that it's not a match for what you want to go and what you want to go next. So that will never resonate. So you want to own what you're really good at. And when you do that, then suddenly see some doors, the doors will open, more opportunities will come your way. Suddenly the conversations that you have resonate more with those you're in room with, right? Are you getting this? Because it is fundamental. If you want a bigger job, if you want to feel more fulfilled, if you want to feel better, if you want to feel happier, if you want to make more money, and yes, I'm dropping that money conversation as well, not in detail here, but at the end of the day, you have one life, right? And it's about the whole of you enjoying your life. And what we're also going to do in this Jumpstart Accelerator program is to help you negotiate your value. As I mentioned in different settings, I used to negotiate my value up to 6 times when I was in corporate, because I no longer wanted to settle for less. And I am so comfortable in that negotiation that if they want me at a lower price, then I'm not a match for what they want to pay. And I'm very happy to say no for now, a gracious no for now. And if you consider yourself being so valuable, if you consider yourself adding so much value, you also want to take the risk. You also want to really own your space and say, if this is, let's just play. If this is my hourly rate, let's play. It's 200, and your hiring manager wants to play 100, right? That's a gap of $100. They're looking for someone less competent like you. I say, good luck, right? But I'm not that. If you want my expertise, then this is my price. We want to own it so much. We want to own it in our heart. We want to show up with authenticity, with the purpose to serve other people, not with a hat in the hand. And guess what? In general, men are just more confident in this conversation, right? And I'm going to have a really interesting podcast later this month about this. So that's what we are diving in on when we meet in the Jumpstart community and cohort, because it's all about helping you feel so at ease with just being you, owning the value that you bring, and dare to say no, dare to say and call it out, right? If you have those problems, and if you want to pay this, I'm sorry, then I'm not a match, because my value is so much greater and bigger than what you want to pay, right? And I have so many examples of how clients actually upregulated their price, because they've been able to articulate what they're really good at. It's like, if you want to go to the doctor, do you want to go to the cheapest doctor and the most expensive doctor, right? If they want a SVP in business development, do they want to go for the most expensive business development executive or the cheapest? Where do you want to go? You know, by hiring manager, the value that you bring, right? That they bring. That's what we're diving in on. So the question back to you is, are you ready to ditch your invisible change? Are you ready to do that work? You want to be so ready for that. You want it. You want your next job so badly that you're ready to face your your biggest limitations. Because if there were no limitations in your life, then you would have already have landed your next dream job. Then you would already have that next dream job with amazing salary that enable you to gift your kids with whatever they wanted, maybe go to the next university, right? Whatever that would set them up for more success. So if you're so ready and want your next dream job so badly, be committed to connect with your limitations. So you don't need to break free from your limitations, but it would be a good idea if you want to land your next dream job. Before closing, I just want to announce that next week I am running, my team and I, we are running a free workshop. And actually, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's actually, how to make more fearless decisions. How to make more fearless decisions. It's a free workshop. I'm dropping the link. Now we are streaming again to multiple channels: LinkedIn, Facebook, different Facebook groups, YouTube. So if you do not see the invitation from where you're streaming in from, then reach out to me if you want to join us. I'm going to tell you and teach you how you can ask whatever you want to ask without feeling less than, right? Without hesitating, am I good enough? Without fearing that, what if I say something wrong? We're diving really deep because a lot of leaders hold back without them knowing, because what will they say? Will they just discover that I do not know enough, or should I not say it because I'm in a room with people with higher ranks? The reason why you're in that room is because you're entitled to be in that room, because you bring some value that the other people do not have, and they actually want you to ask those bold questions. So learning to become more fearless is also about letting go of all your limitations, right? And allowing really to drop into your heart and allowing yourself to be in that room, whatever that is, virtual or face to face, right? So if you want to join us, let's connect, and I'll send you the link. So with this, remember, playing small doesn't protect you. It keeps you stuck. And working hard alone don't get you ahead. Visibility does. Prioritization, prioritize you. Don't be an agenda point on everyone else's calendar or in everyone else's calendar. Master and own your calendar and make sure that you prioritize what's most important for you. Ditch whatever limiting beliefs you have. That requires deep inner work, right? Requires deep inner work. You don't have to break through those limitations, but it would be smart. And don't wait to be picked up. Don't wait to be picked up. Learn to take space, because you are an amazing woman. Take that space that is yours. Do that with authenticity. Do that with vulnerability. Do that being a brave woman. Do that just being you, because you want to serve everyone else. Which leads me to the last thing. It's so important to remember. And that is that of letting go of ego. Great leaders, they don't come from a place of ego. Serve so badly. Be so present in the conversation that you want to set other people up for success. Because when you come from that mindset, guess what? Then you're in that room to serve. You're not in that room to take. And there's an energy shift coming from a taker mindset versus a giver mindset. It's also something that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to train and teach them in the Jumpstart Accelerator, because understanding that even that framework will shift how you show up. It will shift how you write your applications. It will shift how you structure your CVs. It will shift what questions you have. And it will even shift how you listen. So it's time to realize that you don't have to shrink to succeed, because your success is just on the other side. An uncomfortable conversation is on the other side, where you break through, have broken through to your next level. So, long story short, the world doesn't need more women who shrink themselves. It needs more women who lead more boldly. Let that be it. Remember to lead boldly. Remember to love yourself. Remember to show up with authenticity, there to serve. It's nothing to do with you, has everything to do with everyone else. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want to join us next week, then reach out and I will share more details. All right. Love you so much. Bye for now.